Hey there, my name's Bart from Bartoloma 3D, and I am making a video today to talk about this new release from Anthropic of a tool called Claude Design. Now, if you're familiar with Anthropic, you might be familiar with a tool they already have called Claude Code. It's a tool that I'm pretty familiar with. I use it to build apps all the time, a lot of my business apps I've built with Claude Code. The tool is absolutely amazing. Today is April 18th, 2026, so this release is from April 17th, 2026. And honestly, I've seen so many videos and posts about this, about how cool it is. I just had to try it myself, and I am absolutely blown away at how amazing this is. So, if you've used Claude Code before, you were able to do design with Claude Code. For example, you're able to go into Claude Code, you're able to make UIs, and people have made skills and agents and prompts that help you make better UIs. Even Anthropic, I think, has one. But this tool is more focused on the design aspect. And it's a little bit different. I actually have an example of a UI that I created with this Claude Design and the UI that I created with Claude Code. And you'll see quite the difference. So what this tool does is you can actually do quite a few things. So you can create like PowerPoints, documents. You can have it build websites. You could have it do like wireframes, mock-ups, design exploration, pitch decks, everything. So let's just jump right in. So when you use Claude Design for the first time, you'll be greeted with this UI design system for my brand. What it has you do is it has you link either like a GitHub repository or upload some images, and it'll go through those and create a package for your brand. Honestly, I think this was interesting. I don't know that I truly understand the value of this just yet. But what it does is it'll go out and it defines things like fonts, it defines things like colors. What I wasn't aware of was this kind of design that it's picked right here of these like boxes that have this like shadow under them. This is what it thinks that I want my website to look like. I thought this was just kind of like part of the design system, but also this stuff's really hard to read. It's really tiny font, but nevertheless, it has you go through. It has you define fonts. It has you define colors, spacing, shapes, things to use, components for your website, what a product page might look like, marketing pages, things like that. So this mine generated in 5 minutes. I think based on how underload the system is, you'll have a different amount of time. But this maybe took me 30 minutes to actually go through. Spent a lot of time on the font and kind of picking some stuff out, making a few changes. And then we had a design system. So from there, I went in, and one project that I'm working on right now is I'm working on a redesign of my website. And I'm actually going to be building out a store. And I am currently doing that with Claude Code. Maybe let me show that first. So this is what Claude Code was able to come up with. This is a WordPress site. This took quite a bit of prompting, and honestly, like I still wasn't a fan of it. Spent a lot of time with Claude Code to kind of get like this numbering thing to work, and it kind of went in circles. I think a lot of it was probably my fault. I'm not going to blame Claude Code for anything, but the design was, it's okay. This is what mind you, this was just a few prompts. What I was able to create with Claude Design. So from Claude Design, we started with a prompt that was just like, hey, build a website template for an online store where I sell my products. That is literally the prompt that I gave it. And it came up with kind of a first version of this. The first version actually looked a lot like this design system that it created. I think there's an example. I don't know where it came up with this image right here. I thought this was kind of funny, but this was like what it considered the logo of my entire page. I think it took the llama and it tried to outline it. So, but it actually looked a lot like this, with kind of this blockiness. I wasn't a fan of the blockiness, so I went ahead and it had me answer a few questions. I answered those questions. But then I also gave it some rework. Let me see if I can find the rework. I wanted to add a login, which it didn't do in the first version. And I wanted it to also actually build out that login in the dashboard. For the product categories, I wanted it to change these right here. The search bar was originally at the top. I wanted it moved to the bottom. And in the footer, it added some extra stuff that I didn't really want there. Prior to this, I also did prompt it with just kind of a few one-word prompts. Knowing that I didn't have probably a ton of tokens for this, I became succinct in kind of my final prompt to it. But I didn't love that outline. I didn't love the color. I didn't really know what to call it. It felt kind of like hand drawn maybe. But I said, hey, let's remove that. Let's change it. Use the actual logo. So I gave it this winking llama logo, and it created this. So this is kind of the final output from Claude Design. You can actually click around in it. So like if you click on these right here, these actually change. What's really cool about these is it went into my GitHub, and in my GitHub I have YAML files that have each of these different products. So it actually pulled a bunch of example products from my GitHub, and it created these, even though it got all of the pricing wrong. But it created these images. I actually don't know if these are just images, SVGs that I got online, but it created all of these SVGs on their own. Um, if you click on it, it created this product page, which like this is actually pretty awesome. Kind of matches what my product pages look like right now in terms of content, but I love that it fits within this design. And it added this, real nice header here, or sorry, footer here at the bottom, and it brought some stuff over from the page. What I was really surprised with was I asked it for something simple of like, hey, I want to be able to add login. Can you do some sort of login? And then can you actually build out the account dashboard? This is fully interactive. Like you can click on, your name right here. You can go in orders. It built all of this out based on just, this isn't even like, okay, it's probably more than 100 words, but this isn't a lot. This is, and it looks real nice. And you can actually like click on what an order looks like. Visualizing all of this and being able to put it together is just absolutely amazing for the development process. Like this would take a really long time to build out in the traditional way. Um, let's see, none of these order buttons work, but so I asked it for orders. I actually did want it to do the order page. I believe it implemented this quote page. It's very high level, so you can't actually click on anything from there. It did addresses, which is really cool, payment, profile. What's also cool is it also built out, like I can actually go in and I could do a transaction here, right? And you can go to checkout and you can go ahead and put, an email in here. And then place order, and it does it. And while, some of the things that it's done here is kind of funny, like small batch printed on our own machines. Like I think that's kind of funny. It thinks that the tagline, uh, the tagline is here: design, printed, shipped. It's actually really clever. And the fact that it created this in such high fidelity in such a short amount of time is absolutely amazing. And uh, Claude Design is in research preview. I think that's why the tokens run out pretty quickly. So I've already used up all of my tokens for this week. I can't go ahead and use any more, do any more Claude Design until next Saturday. But I'm going to export this. I'm going to drop it into Claude Code and start working on this because I think this is absolutely amazing. So if you've tried Claude Design yourself, have any comments, you want to share experience, leave a comment down below. Yeah, thanks for watching.